Good afternoon, dear students. Today we will continue our lectures on the subject of modern history of Kazakhstan. The topic of today's lecture 11 is the collapse of the Soviet Union and the formation of the Commonwealth of Independent States, proclamation of independence of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Now let's move on to the next slide. On this slide, you can see the content of today's lesson. You can view each item by clicking on the hyperlink. By opening the first link, we can see the purpose of our lecture and the methods of teaching. The purpose of lecture is formation of an indicative basis for students to successfully learning of educational material. We also use teaching methods such as information receptive method, reproductive method, illustrative method. Next point is the plan of the lecture. The topic of the lecture consists of 3 main questions and 3 extra questions. The first question is August Pooch and collapse of the Soviet Union. The second question is Declaration of Independence of Republic of Kazakhstan. The third question is construction of a new Kazakhstan statehood. The third question consists of 3 extra questions. Question 3.1 is adoption of the state symbols. Question 3.2, the new constitution of the Republic of Kazakhstan. And question 3.3 is first parliament of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The next item is literature and electronic resources. Opening this link, you find recommended literature and electronic resources that will help us to study this topic. I recommend you use the tutorial Modern History of Kazakhstan written by Aminov. On pages 203 and 226 of this tutorial, you can learn more information about this topic. I also recommend using the following electronic resources. The first one is the website of the library of the first president of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev. You can also find general information about independent Kazakhstan on the website www.agorda.kz. In both electronic resources, you can use Kazakh, Russian, and English languages. Now let's move on to the glossary or terms of today's topic. Clicking and opening the link, we can find main terms of the topic and read their definitions. First one is Pooch. Pooch means an attempt coup organized by a group of conspirators as well as the coup itself. Next term is collapse. In a figurative sense, collapse means a severe crisis in the economy and social life of the country, socio-economic disaster. Another term is presidential republic. Presidential republic is type of the republican form of government. In the presidential republic, the popularly elected president is the head of state and the executive power. On the next slide, we find 2 more terms. These are constitution and unitary state. Constitution means the basic law of the state, a special normative legal act with the highest legal force. The Constitution defines the political, legal, and economic system of the state. Unitary state is the form of the national state system which doesn't have autonomy in its structure, with a single constitution, citizenship, the system of public authorities, administration, and the court. Now let's look at the summary of each question. To do this, open the lecture plan. Well, let's start with question number 1. August Pooch and collapse of the Soviet Union. The August Pooch, an attempt to remove Mikhail Gorbachev from the post of President of the USSR and change his political course. A little information about Mikhail Gorbachev.
Ultimately led to its downfall. So why exactly did the Soviet Union collapse? Well, the fall of the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, or USSR, can be said to begin with its last leader, Mikhail Gorbachev. He was in power from 1985 to 1991 and implemented a large number of reforms to try and deal with the growing unrest countrywide. Gorbachev entered office following what was called the era of stagnation, generally considered to cover the mid-1960s to the mid-1980s.
The August Pooch took place in 1991 from August 19 to 21st in Moscow. The organizer of the August Pooch was the self-proclaimed State Committee for Emergency Situations. The State Committee for Emergency Situations was composed of Vice President of the USSR Yanayev, Prime Minister Pavlov, the Chairman of the Committee for State Security of the USSR Kryuchkov, Minister of Interior Fuga, Deputy Chairman of the Council of Defense of the USSR Baklanov, and others. But the organizers of the August Pooch were defeated and arrested. The event of the August Pooch discredited the Communist Party of Soviet Union and accelerated the process of collapse of the USSR. And some more video information here.
Positions of power. Eventually, these efforts led to widespread unrest throughout the government, and in August of 1991, a group of hardline Communist Party members attempted a coup d'etat against Gorbachev, who they believed was steering the country into failure. The coup did not work, and Gorbachev resigned as head of the Communist Party, which had tried to overthrow him. It was ultimately dissolved entirely. In the midst of the coup, several Baltic states announced their independence, which triggered a domino effect.
Well, December 8, 1991, the Belaversky Agreement about the termination of the USSR and about the creation of the Commonwealth of Independent States was signed between the presidents of Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus. Continue. December 13, 1991, meeting of the presidents of the 5 republics of Central Asia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan in Ashgabat, the capital of Turkmenistan. December 21, 1991, the presidents of Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, and Turkmenistan had a meeting in Almaty, the former capital of Kazakhstan. The Declaration on the Collapse of the USSR and the creation of the Commonwealth of the Independent States was adopted. We can watch about it here.
Effect over the next few months. By December of 1991, Ukraine, Russia, Belarus, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Moldova, Turkmenistan, Tajikistan, and Uzbekistan left the Soviet Union. They formed amongst themselves a new international commonwealth of independent states removed from the USSR. Within a few days, the now powerless USSR government, which technically only had power over Georgia, was dissolved by Gorbachev, ending 69 years of a world power.
On December 25, 1991, Mikhail Gorbachev officially announced the collapse of the USSR. We can listen to his speech here.
The Kremlin. But Mr. Gorbachev finally brought the curtain down on the Soviet Union and his own extraordinary career.
Compatriots, due to the situation which has evolved as a result of the formation of the Commonwealth of Independent States, I hereby discontinue my activities at the post of President of the USSR.
The manner of his departure reflected the nature of his rule. The Kremlin, so long the forbidden city of the Soviet Empire, opened its doors to the world. Mr. Gorbachev quit live on satellite TV.
This society has acquired freedom it has been freed politically and spiritually, and this is the most important achievement that we have yet to fully come to grips with. And we haven't, because we haven't learned to use freedom yet.
Later, in an interview with CNN, Mr. Gorbachev showed documents which formally hand control of the nuclear arsenal to Boris Yeltsin. He was now stripped of all power.
We are cooperating, I think, in the interest of our states, in the interests of the Commonwealth, in the interests of the world.
Let's move on to the next question. Declaration of Independence of Republic of Kazakhstan. So, one of the countries that emerged from the Soviet Union has been Kazakhstan. On December 10, 1991, Nursultan Nazarbayev signed the law about renaming the Kazakh Soviet Socialist Republic to the Republic of Kazakhstan. On December 16, 1991, the constitutional law about state independence of the Republic of Kazakhstan was adopted and came into force on the same day. By opening this link, you can read the biography of the first president of Kazakhstan, Nursultan Nazarbayev. You can read main information about his life and political activity. Continue. The next slide about the constitutional law about state independence of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Let's look at some of its paragraphs. Paragraph 1. Kazakhstan is an independent, democratic and legal state. The territory of Kazakhstan was declared complete, indivisible and inviolable. Paragraph 2. Citizens of the Republic of all nationalities, united by a common historical destiny with the Kazakh nation, constitute a single people of Kazakhstan. According to paragraph 3, state power is implemented on the basis of the principle of its division into legislative, executive, and judicial power. The president was declared the head of the Republic of Kazakhstan and its executive power. Paragraph 4 determined the economic foundations of the state. Now look at the third and final question, construction of a new Kazakhstan statehood. Construction of a new Kazakhstan statehood. Question 3.1, adoption of the state symbols. A working group was organized by the Supreme Council in January 1992 to organize the preparation of new state symbols. In the summer of 1992, the working group concluded its work by considering 453 designs for the flag project, 132 text versions of the Anthem project. On June 4, 1992, new state symbols of Kazakhstan were adopted by the Supreme Council. The state flag of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The author is Shakin Yazbekov, designer, artist, honored art worker of Kazakhstan. Pay attention to the structure of the national flag of Kazakhstan. Our state flag is blue and golden colors. In the center of the flag is the sun, and under it a soaring eagle. It symbolized peace and freedom. On the left side of the flag there is a national ornamental pattern. State emblem of the Republic of Kazakhstan. The authors are Jandarбек Малибеков and Shota Walixanov. The national emblem of Kazakhstan consists of a yurt dome in the center, sun rays, mythical winged horses, which means the antiquity of our history, a five-pointed star, and the inscription Kazakhstan. The national anthem of Kazakhstan was adopted twice. The first anthem was adopted in December 1992, but then In 2006, in January, a new anthem was adopted that is closer to the people. The authors of the new anthem's text of the Republic of Kazakhstan, adopted in January 2006, are Jumiken Najimidinov and Nursultan Nazarbayev. The author of the music, Shamshir Kaldayakov. Question 3.2. The new Constitution of the Republic of Kazakhstan. It was adopted on August 30, 1995. It consists of 9 sections, 98 articles. Section 1. General Regulations. Section 2. A Man and a Citizen. Section 3. President. Section 4. Parliament. Section 5. Government. Section 6. Constitutional Council. Section 7. The Courts and Justice. Section 8. Local Public Administration and Self-Government. And Section 9. Final and Transitional Regulations. These are sections of new Constitution of the Republic of Kazakhstan. Question 3.3. First Parliament of the Republic of Kazakhstan. On March 7, 1994, were held elections to the first Parliament of Sovereign Kazakhstan. The Parliament of Kazakhstan is the highest representative institution of the Republic implementing legislative power. Parliament consists of 2 chambers. The Senate consists of 47 deputies. The Majlis consists of 107 deputies. You can see the website of the Parliament of the Republic of Kazakhstan, www.parlam.kz. So, dear students, let's summarize our today's lecture. Today we talked about the collapse of the USSR and the formation of the independent Republic of Kazakhstan. This happened in 1991. Since December of that year, Kazakhstan has appeared in the world arena as a new independent state. On this slide, you can see the questions and tasks for self-checking. Question 1. For what purpose and by whom was the August Pooch organized in 1991? Question 2. When and for what reasons collapsed the USSR? Question 3. When was adopted the constitutional law on state independence of the Republic of Kazakhstan? Question 4. What are the state symbols of the Republic of Kazakhstan? Give them a descriptions. Question 5. Explain the content of the main terms Presidential Republic, Constitution, Unitary State. Question 6. Make a summary on the topic The Collapse of the USSR and the Formation of Independent Kazakhstan. By answering these questions, you will be able to better understand and remember your knowledge. That is the end of our lecture. Thank you for your attention.